Hey everyone, it's Brian with 517 RC Trail Crawling. Today we're going to try to establish a baseline of performance for our VRD Carbon. Our reaction hobbies, doing a little bit of testing. We're going to compare it or baseline it with my purple mullet build there. That one's also a kind of a work in progress, but at least we'll be able to run the same lines and compare the two. So the Carbon is stock except for some heavy wheels running on megalithics from J Concepts. You can see we have a little bit of stutter right there and before. I think the megalithics inserts are just too hard. Whereas on the purple mullet we've got an extreme amount of forward drive because the inserts are too soft in my opinion, but again, I'm still testing these guys and tuning. Do a little descent here. The mullet is running, I'd say like 60% front weight. Carbon chassis. You can see there's a little weight in the back, and it's probably, I don't know, 3/4 pounds lighter than the VRD. So you see that turn there. The outside tires are just smudging over, so my turn radius is not that great. Get hung up here on these logs. Riding links, I believe. This thing is also slammed. I run it pretty much full droop, which that's another thing I want to tweak. I need the front end to sit up a little bit higher, get that belly and those front links to clear a little better. You can see this angle here. It's always tough to show angles on camera so you get a real feel for it, but it stays planted, and it actually did this climb pretty easily compared to some of the other rigs that I have and how they do. You can see it drags a lot. Both of these vehicles are running Outrunners on Rhino ESCs. The VRD has the 40 amp Rhino and a Rhino. It's one of the bigger Outrunners, and the mullet has the 80 amp Rhino with Holmes Hobbies team spec revolver. Little hangs still on the VRD, but it seems it's got way more clearance because it's sitting super high. Skid doesn't hang that much. It's easy to pull it off. The steering on this vehicle on the VRD is great though. A little body trimming to do there. Let's see here, we get a push. Push. Try it again. Push. I think we just need more compliance and maybe some more front weight. But you see here, I hit the same spot, but a longer wheelbase and higher belly clearance allows me to pull over. Now we'll try to take the same climb. I think the VRD is running about 58% front weight, the way it is out of the box with where my battery is. But you can see this passenger front is going to get super light. Not doing a lot, even with a longer wheelbase and less compliance, but it manages. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the VRD Carbon. I've done no tuning. Everything on the VRD is straight out of the box with all of their suggested positions, shock height, shock oil, springs. The only difference is I've got my battery running where the small electronics tray that mounts on the transmission. I've got a little 650 4S there. So on the purple mullet here, the turning is actually really good when you're going uphill. So I'm trying to stay on that knot right there, get it nice and high. Oh, love the way it settles. We're running the Traxxas 2660s on here. Some mini T-springs. You can see how much compliance, how soft those inserts are. Those are the Three Brothers, without any tuning rods in them. I'll give the Carbon a shot. VRD, I should say. Man, I gotta trim that body still. I thought I had the fender clearance, but it just keeps catching that front corner. But I mean, look how it just turns so much tighter. I love the way they've done this obstacle too, with those wooden pieces there. So I'm trying to stay right over that knot like I did with the mullet. So I would have liked to go up right there, but again, that front is so light. I'm not sure if I'll probably lower it a little bit. See right there, I have a line. I could have made it, but it's not over the knot, so we're gonna line it up and try again. I'm also driving this one-handed while filming, and I've got tiny child hands, so I have to hold the radio links kind of on an angle, so my driving is not the best. So now I'm trying to stay on that knot. It's way more difficult with the VRD. I think it's just the compliance, some front weight, and of course it's sitting way higher, so my body's probably got some drag to it. This is a fun spot. So we're gonna try to do a descent down and then hook back into that tunnel. This is always a difficult maneuver, but someone has placed a vertical rock there, which is, you can't even swing wide like we usually do. And also because of my one-handed driving, I don't have the thumb steer. I can't flick the servo to do the normal shake. I mean, it looks slow, but it's an NSDRC RS800 in there, so it's definitely got the speed. Didn't hit the throttle fast enough. So let's try it again. This is my first build of a mullet style, and I really like it. I never have clearance issues in the back, which obviously that's probably why we do it, right? Try it again. Better there. Oh, too high up for the wiggle. See, that back tire's just hanging on that. Just have to give it some beans. Hey. Now a little. Sometimes in the comps, in the past, this has presented problems for some rigs. I think usually when people dig it out, but easy peasy. Right, let's give the VRD Carbon a shot. I really like the control of the Rhinos. Even though this Outrunner's loud, it's still great. So we get a lot of slide here, though. Notice that? Just nose plowed into that rock. But the steering is great. I really like the I think the megalithics are good, but it's hard to judge them without the proper inserts in them. See if I learned anything from my other two tries. Womp. Nope. I'll try it. I'm using the next level inserts from D440RC, and I just wasn't able to get my printer settings correct to get softer inserts, but I've done a lot of changes to my printer. I'll try again, and I'm confident I can get these softer. But I like more firm outer edge. I think that's part of the reason why my steering is working out so well on this truck. We'll switch rigs again. And then we'll see how this does on the slippery logs. It always makes this course a challenge. That and the dust. But it's equal for both trucks, so I think it's still a good comparison. See, it just easily pushed. Driver tire hit that rock and it just pushed it over. And trying to right yourself one-handed is not easy. And then eventually I just give up and decide not to ruin the body. Not to ruin it more. If it were a comp, I would have kept going. Take a higher line. This time it's just fine. Those rocks are slippery. And some of my other vehicles, even descending here has been a challenge. And you're trying to go through gates, but other than the diff getting hung up on that rock right there, it's not so bad. I never once felt like this rig was going to lose control going down, descending. I'm trying to ride that in the middle of that piece of wood and that rock. I got a little too far over. For being something so low and dragging its belly, it's not that bad, but I did drive it in one comp. I comped it twice on rocks, and the clearance was the biggest issue. When you've got a gate and it's designed to hang you up, you don't have the wiggle room that this thing needs to eventually free itself, so it does need to be taller. Wow. Jeff, the shop owner, came over and was chatting with me a little bit, so that was why I stopped driving there for a second. And let's give the VRD Carbon a shot. I would assume that the obstacle that this is about to go over is no challenge. We've got way more breakover. See if I can hit those logs in the same spot. Nah, not quite. This truck really is a joy to drive, though. It's very smooth. Articulation is predictable. Not really sure what happened here. I got a little crossed up, but it settled. And again, the steering on this, I just love it. These F10s are fantastic. It was one of the reasons I got the VRD Carbon at all, because once you've built a rig from rails and you built it up the way you want it to, it's hard to go back to any kind of kit. But knowing that I wanted these axles, and it came with weights, and it's got the lightweight VRD, great motor position, I had to try it. So there you have it.